I'm always looking for new projects that I can do while I'm out in the woods, and a couple of years ago I was looking at some photographs of British commandos back in World War II, and I noticed that in a lot of the photographs each man carried a small coil of rope, and I looked into it a little bit further and it was something called a toggle rope, and all it was some manila rope with a toggle at one end made of wood, a bit like a duffel coat toggle, only a bit bigger, and then at the other end there was a spliced eye loop, and each man carried it, and if as a section the commandos encountered an obstacle, then they would use the toggle and the loop to join them together, and that way they could cross bodies of water or go up cliffs or travel down steep ground. So a really useful multi-purpose item. I looked a little bit more into it, and the only other reference I could find was from the Boy Scouts, and I think the Boy Scouts were probably using the toggle rope, or as they would have called it, a buddy rope, before the commandos during World War II. It's something that I think is a really, really useful item, and not just for climbing cliffs. It's a piece of kit that is really, really simple, and it's also really, really useful. And if you're travelling as part of a group, it's an excellent thing for each member of the group to carry, exactly the same as the guys during World War II did. So that's what we're going to look at today. The finished toggle rope has all manner of uses. If I'm travelling as part of a group and we encounter some steep ground that we've got to ascend or descend in, just as the guys back in World War II did, we can link them together using the eyes and the loops. If I've got to cross a body of water as part of a group and I want to put a safety line across, then again we can link our toggle ropes together. If I'm travelling as an individual and I'm coming down a steep slope, or I've got to ascend a steep slope, I might not want to climb with my rucksack on, but what I can do is use the toggle, feed it through the grab handle on my rucksack, and I can either lower my rucksack down the slope or I can haul it up the slope. Either way, it just makes it that little bit safer for me as I travel. Around camp, well, I can use it when I'm gathering firewood. It's a good long length of usable cord, and you can quickly cinch up a good bundle of firewood, which you can either then use the rope to carry, or you can, if it's a really heavy bundle, you can drag it along too. We could also use it if we needed to suspend our rucksack off the ground, and quite often when I'm out in the woods I keep my rucksack suspended up next to where my hammock is, so I know exactly where it is, but it's up off the ground, away from bugs, creepy crawlies, and in the UK lots and lots of rain. So it's a really, really useful piece of kit. If you're in camp and you want to do a spot of cooking, well, again, the toggle rope comes into its own, because if you take 3 poles and then lash around the top using your toggle rope, so that you've got the toggle dangling down between the 3 legs, all you do is just pass that toggle through the bail handle on your billy can, and there you go, you've got an excellent adjustable pot hanger. Equipment wise, well, we're not going to need a great deal for this one. A knife of some description, a pruning saw, a length of cord. Now the cord that I'm using for this one, the guys back in World War II used a heavy manila rope. Well, with modern materials I don't need to carry something quite as heavy. I could go for 550 cord, but this one I might want to use for a bit of security on steep ground. So I've gone for some of this 8mm cord. It's a braided nylon cord, so it's very, very friction resistant. It's very, very good for bow drill. It's nice and strong and friction resistant. And lengthwise, I've gone for 2 arm spans with a little bit on the end just for good measure. The only other thing I need now is a piece of wood to make the toggle out of. And the wood I'm going to look at today is my old favourite, dogwood. So this is the dogwood that I'm going to use. The reason I'm using dogwood is it's a small shrub that grows really, really abundantly in the area that I live and work, and it's also incredibly hard and durable. Now, as far as size wise goes, what I'm looking for is something that is a minimum of a thumb thick and no shorter than a hand span. In fact, ideally about a hand span and a finger's length added to it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to round off the ends of the stick. Now the reason I want to round the ends off is once this is my finished toggle, I want it to be able to pass through the loop on the other end relatively easily, or if I'm joining it to somebody else's loop. And if the ends are rounded, not pointed, but just rounded off, it just makes that a little bit easier. Now I'll do the other end. Now for the next bit, I want to create a channel that runs through the centre of the stick. The reason we're going to put that there is once our cord is attached to this, I want it held securely so there's no chance of it slipping off. So by putting this channel in there, it gives somewhere for the cord to actually sit to prevent that from happening. So I'm just going to score a little stop cut that runs right the way round. With the stop cut carved in all the way around, what I'm then going to do is I'm going to just do a thumb cut, pushing my blade up towards that line. I'm then going to go all the way around the stick in one direction. I'm then going to turn the stick over and do the same from the other direction. Now I'm not aiming to go all the way through the stick, I just want to create that little channel to stop the cord from sliding off. And there it is, done. So with the stick done, I now want to turn my attention to the cord. And at one end, I want to put in a constricting knot that's going to lock into that groove. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a Canadian jam knot. And this is a really, really simple but incredibly useful knot. All I do is at one end is I form a thumb knot. And to do that, I form a loop like so, and then this live end goes back through and pulls out through that hole like so. Then what we do is we do the same thing again, but this time we're going to tie the thumb knot around this standing end. So again, I'm going to pass it behind, wrap it through, pull it tight, and there it is, finished. And the idea is that the more pressure you put on it, the tighter this knot locks, and this one pulls in behind it to prevent it from pulling through. So all I'm going to do now is pass the toggle through there, let the cord sit in that little groove, and then we just pull it tight. And it locks. This does allow me, if I need to pull, and it can come off. So it's not permanently attached, but when it is attached, it's good and secure. Now looking at the other end of my cord, what I'm going to do is put in a figure 8 loop with a stopper knot tied in behind it. So there is our figure 8 loop, and if you've tied it correctly, figure 8 should lay fairly flat. I put a little stopper knot in behind, and that's really just for a little bit of added security, although the figure 8 knot rarely fails. There it is, done. To stow it so it's packed away nice and tidy but ready for easy deployment, all I do is just hank it up. And to do that, let the stick drop down behind my thumb so I can hold the cord like so. Pass the length of cord across your palm behind your little finger, splay your fingers open, and then just pass it in a figure 8 motion between your thumb and your little finger. Keep going until almost all the cord is used up. Then just take a couple off like so. So I've now got that 2 foot of cord. Lift it off, and then starting at the toggle end, you're just going to coil the rope around your loose bits of cord. Then when I get to the end, my little loop is going to pass through there. And there it is, all stowed and ready to go. If I need to deploy it in a hurry, this end just comes straight back through there. And we just pull the toggle end and it runs out. Simple. So there it is, the completed item, and it really is a really useful piece of kit to carry with you. Whether you're a bushcrafter, away with friends, perhaps going to wild country, somebody involved with Duke of Edinburgh Award, member of the Scouts, or even a prepper who is looking for something he can put in his bug out kit each member of the family could carry to help you overcome unexpected obstacles. It really is a really good bit of kit. So there you go, that's my take on the Bushcraft toggle rope. Simple, easy project that anyone can do. Requires minimum skills, very little time and very little materials. And it is, at the end of the day, something that's really useful, whether it's suspending your can over the fire or keeping your pack up off the ground, or even if there's a group of you, all have a go at making one next time you're at a bushcraft meetup, and actually use it. You know, if you've got to tackle a bit of steep ground or perhaps ford a river, could be really, really useful. As always with all my videos, if you think they're any good, hit that like button and share it to other people that you know, perhaps some of those bushcraft friends. Again, on my email address, I'll put up at the end, and if you're interested in this or any of the other skills that I demonstrate, and perhaps you'd like either some one-to-one coaching or perhaps for me to come and work with a group, schools, colleges, organisations, etc., I'm always available. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.